In the depths of human experience, there exists a universal language that transcends boundaries, circumstances, and faith. Traditions, a language of prayer. In Islam, this spiritual connection manifests through dua, a heartfelt supplication made directly to Allah. The beauty of dua lies in its simplicity, yet profound power. For many Muslims, it's not just a religious duty, but a lifeline, a way to seek divine intervention in the most challenging moments. Today, I want to explore the incredible stories of individuals whose lives were profoundly transformed by the power of their dua's heartfelt prayers that led to what they describe as nothing short of miracles. Dua, a conversation with the divine. Before we dive into the personal stories, it's essential to understand what dua is in Islam. It's more than just asking for something. It's a sincere conversation with Allah, an expression of reliance, vulnerability, and trust in the Almighty's wisdom and mercy. Unlike the structured prayers, salah, dua is informal and can be done anywhere, anytime, in any language. Whether you're seeking guidance, healing, provision, or protection, dua is a personal and intimate connection to the divine, embodying the essence of hope and faith. But does it work? For believers, the answer is a resounding yes. Across the world, countless Muslims share testimonies of how their duas led to unexpected, even miraculous outcomes. Here are some of their stories. A mother's dua for her child's healing. Fatima's story is one of the many that demonstrates the immense power of a mother's dua. Her 7-year-old son, Ahmed, was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of leukemia. Doctors gave him only a slim chance of survival. As medical treatments progressed, Fatima turned to her faith. She spent her nights in prayer, making duas for her son's recovery. She invoked Allah's names as Al-Shafi, the healer, and Al-Mujib, the one who responds, pouring her heart into her prayers. Months passed, and Ahmed's condition worsened. Yet, Fatima's faith never wavered. She continued to pray, sometimes with tears streaming down her face, believing that Allah's plan would reveal itself. One night, after a particularly heartfelt dua, something changed. The next morning, when Ahmed was scheduled for another round of tests, the doctors were stunned. His condition had taken a remarkable turn for the better, and within weeks, he was in remission. Today, Ahmed is a healthy and thriving teenager, and Fatima credits his recovery to the power of dua. A refugee's call for guidance and protection. Amina's story takes us to a refugee camp on the borders of Syria, where she and her family fled from the horrors of war. Displaced and destitute, Amina felt lost. She didn't know how to protect her children, who had already seen more suffering than any child should. In her despair, she made a dua for guidance, asking Allah for a way out of the seemingly hopeless situation. One night, during a particularly brutal storm, Amina found herself alone, crying under a makeshift tent. She raised her hands to the sky and prayed, not for material comfort, but for the safety and well-being of her children. That very evening, as if in response to her plea, aid workers arrived at the camp. They had space for just one more family to be relocated to Europe, and Amina's family was selected. Today, they live in safety, and Amina believes that her dua was the key that opened the door to a new life. Dua for financial relief, a businessman's miracle. Not all miracles come in the form of physical healing or safety from danger. Sometimes they arrive in unexpected ways. Orly was a successful businessman whose company faced financial ruin during a global economic downturn. Despite his best efforts, he was unable to turn things around, and it seemed bankruptcy was inevitable. Desperate, Ali turned to dua, seeking not just financial help, but the wisdom to make the right decisions. He believed in Allah's promise that whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out. Quran 65:2. For weeks, Ali prayed day and night, asking Allah for guidance. Then, just as his company was about to collapse, a potential investor reached out. The investor had been looking for a business in exactly Ali's field and was ready to inject capital to keep it afloat. The deal not only saved Ali's company, but allowed it to expand. Ali often shares this story with others, reminding them of the power of dua and the belief that Allah is always near, listening to those who call upon Him. Finding peace. A young woman's struggle with anxiety. Sarah's story shows that the miracle of dua is not always about external events, but sometimes about internal transformation. As a university student, Sarah struggled with severe anxiety. The pressures of academic life, combined with personal challenges, left her feeling overwhelmed and isolated. She couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, and found herself slipping deeper into despair. One day, after attending a religious seminar on the power of dua, Sarah decided to turn to prayer for relief. She began making regular duas, not just for success in her studies, but for peace of mind and heart. Over time, she noticed subtle changes. Her anxiety began to lift, and a sense of calm replaced the constant worry. While the challenges of life didn't disappear, Sarah felt a new strength to face them. She attributes this transformation to the spiritual connection she built through dua, describing it as her personal miracle. The power of hope and faith. These stories highlight an essential truth about dua. It is a manifestation of hope and faith in Allah's mercy. Whether the answer comes in the form of healing, guidance, financial relief, or emotional peace, dua reminds believers that they are never alone. It strengthens the bond between the human soul and the divine, offering comfort in the knowledge that even in the darkest moments, there is a source of light. Miracles, as these individuals experienced, are not always grand or immediate. Sometimes they unfold slowly, as part of a divine plan that we may not fully understand. But the act of making dua is itself transformative. It shifts the focus from worldly struggles to spiritual reliance, from despair to hope. And in that shift, miracles both big and small can happen. In conclusion, the power of Islamic dua lies not just in its ability to change external circumstances, but in its capacity to transform hearts, provide hope, and offer comfort. For those who believe, dua is more than a request, it's a testament to faith, a conversation with the divine that holds the potential for profound, life-changing miracles. If you're enjoying our content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support helps us grow and reach more people. Also, if you'd like to help us produce even more frequent and high-quality content, consider contributing to us on Patreon. Every little bit helps, and it means the world to us. So, share with your friends, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks for all your support.